Triggered by a social media ban imposed last week, demonstrators took to the streets to express frustration at the government's failure to fight corruption and boost economic opportunities. Despite the lift of the ban and the Prime Minister's resignation, anger towards the government showed no signs of easing, with protests continuing in the capital Kathmandu, with authorities implementing an indefinite curfew in an attempt to restore order. He says the Nepali army extends condolences and sympathy to the bereaved family. Also, we wish for speedy recovery of those injured. During the protest, extensive damage was incurred. In order to prevent further loss of properties and to maintain peace, security, peace and harmony, national unity and harmony is our common duty. Easing the current difficult situation, the national heritage, public as well as private properties, common citizens, diplomatic missions, and giving a sense of security to the public is of paramount importance. Neighboring countries such as China and India have called for social order and national stability, with the United Nations Human Rights Chief Volker Turk condemning the violence.
I'm appalled by the escalating violence in Nepal that has resulted in multiple deaths and the injury of hundreds of mostly young protesters, as well as the widespread destruction of property. I plead with security forces to exercise utmost restraint and to avoid further such bloodshed and harm. Violence is not the answer. Dialogue is the best and only way to address the concerns of the Nepalese people.
Turk also called for probes into the death of protesters during youth-led anti-corruption protests.
I have received concerning reports of unnecessary and disproportionate use of force by the security forces. I call for an urgent, thorough, transparent and impartial investigation into such acts. I'm also disturbed by reports of public buildings, businesses and private residents being attacked and in some instances set ablaze. Equally, I'm concerned by reports of physical attacks on senior government officials. I remind protesters that they too must uphold the spirit of peaceful assembly and refrain from violence.
This is what some residents had to say. He says, the situation is tense here. Houses and the parliament have been destroyed. This is the parliament and it is completely charred. People have stolen everything. He says, despite the losses, it is a historical revolution which has awakened me and my fellow countrymen. Our times are changing with the change in the government. Now the citizens will get the rightful share of what they deserve. Meanwhile, soldiers patrol the streets of Kathmandu following the implementation of an indefinite curfew in Nepal's capital. The unrest is said to be Nepal's worst in decades as the country continues to struggle with political instability and economic uncertainty since the abolition of its monarchy in 2008. Bonolo Maribe, SABC News.